Smooth. So I was talking to Libertas' mom today, and she told me that she was never quite sure about him because even as a child, little Nicholas displayed homosexual tendencies. This video is going to be the first official installment in my video series entitled Advanced Conceptual Valorism 102. Now class, look to the left of you, look to the right of you, and then in 9 other directions. 1 in the 12 of you is not going to pass this course. Do things exist outside of our understanding? Yes. Some things that we do not understand exist. Dark matter is a good example. The clitoris, nature's Rubik's Cube. The dark matter is probably a better example. We don't know what it is. We can't understand it. But its existence can be observed, measured, and tested. On the other hand, God has left us no observable evidence, no measured impact, and no testable credibility. Picture a lighter. Now, picture 2 lighters. Now picture an infinite number of lighters. You can't. It's impossible to picture an infinite number of lighters. You can't do it. And yet we know that the concept of infinity exists. Now, Fitchy, I see some irony in your video, that you're arguing for the existence of God based on imaginary numbers. God can find the square root of -4. You can't picture infinity. It's logically impossible to picture infinity. It really is. But then, when we show a Christian logically why God can't exist, they say, well, that's because God exists outside of logic. God doesn't have to follow our rules. He's God. And yet when we ask the question if God can create a rock so heavy that he himself can't lift it, the typical Christian response is, no, God cannot accomplish the logically impossible, even though he himself is logically impossible. How complex must God be if he exists? Well, if we observe the world around us, we can see that he must not be very complex at all. Not in the least bit. Humans are intrinsically lazy. Humans always look for the path of least resistance. Humans were made in God's image. This kind of goes back to the a good tree does not bear bad fruit argument, but how can something complex, why would something so complex invent something so simple and trivial? Oh, wait, but we can't understand God's infinite knowledge. You're right, though. I can't go back to the Stone Age and explain to a person from the Stone Age how the human genome works. It's kind of like how I can't go back to 1555 and explain to a person how indoor plumbing works. As we grow and learn and evolve, so does our capability for understanding. And yet in 2,000 years, we've sent a man to the moon, we've split the atom, but we still can't crack God's code. We haven't even come close. We haven't even chipped the paint. Now, Fitchy says that Christians don't fully comprehend God, but that's okay. And that frustrates me, because I thought the point of Christianity was to know and understand God. So if you go through life not knowing or understanding God, then you failed as a Christian. Like how you're going to fail this course. Yeah, no, that's not okay, Fitchy. When Moses asked God how he should explain God, God said, "I am that I am." Well, I understand God perfectly then. He's dating Olive Oil, and he keeps fighting this dick, Bluto. He keeps trying to take his girl, which is just an asshole move. And then there's always this little wimpy guy trying to mooch hamburgers off of him. An infinite God is just as impossible as picturing an imaginary number. I hope you're all taking notes, because there's going to be a short quiz next hour.